Alright guys, back for day 27, and we're still on the Star Wars Legion theme. I know it's not Blood Bowl, it's pretty crazy, but we'll get through it. So today is Luke Skywalker, Empire Strikes Back Luke Skywalker, Cloud City Luke Skywalker, however you want to put it. So I started off by priming this guy with a sort of sand color all over. And then that is going to be the base coat basically for his clothes. But from there, I started with some Wildwood contrast paint, and I painted all the pouches around his waist, his belt, the holster for his pistol, and the strap that holds that on his leg. From there, I took some Skeleton Horde and just went over the primer with that on his shoes, or his boots. From there, I took some Cadian Flesh Tone and put that on his face and his hands, and then followed that up with just a little tiny bit of Guilliman flesh, just to give some highlights. From there I went on to his hair. I started with Skeleton Horde on his hair. That wasn't quite dark enough though, so I added some snakebite leather on top of that. Then I started to weather his outfit a little bit. So I started by using some Nuln Oil and just kind of patching it around in some places and then feathering it out. If you're unfamiliar with feathering, that's just taking a brush that has no paint on it and just blending out paint into the paint that's underneath it. So in this case, I just had a clean wet brush and just dragged out the Nuln Oil so it kind of faded out into the rest of the cloth instead of having hard defined edges. Then I did the same thing, but this time with Dawnstone. If you look at pictures of Luke in this outfit, there's a lot of like maybe oil stains or patches of gray, kind of dirt and dust on him. So I went with Dawnstone for that. Then I used some Iron Warriors for the lightsaber hilt as well as the details on the gun, and then painted the rest of the gun Abaddon black. So after that, I moved on to the lightsaber blade itself. So I started off with Baharoth blue, painted the whole thing in that color. Then I did some pallid witch flesh to do a white line up the lightsaber. If you look at lightsabers, they will often have, or not often, they will usually have a white core to them, or very, 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 very bright whatever the color of the lightsaber is, in this case blue, but I just used white for that. Then, after that, while I was waiting for that to dry, I took a little bit of Screaming Skull and just dry brushed a little bit of his uniform here and there. Then was on to the glow effect that you see on his face and upper arms. So first I used Aethermatic Blue thinned down, just to get in some shadows and give us a little bit of glow. And then I took some Baharoth blue, thinned that down a lot, just by having a bunch of water on my brush, nothing too fancy. And then tapped and stippled that on to his arms, his chest, and his face to give the sort of OSL style of lighting from that blade. From there, I went on to the base. Super simple base on this one. If you look at pictures of Cloud City, it's mostly polished white metal, with some random designs on it in black or gray. So I just painted the whole base pallid witch flesh. Then while that was still wet, I did a line of Abaddon black, which sort of turned gray. Once that was dry, I used some Articoat, which is just gloss varnish. Put that on there to get the base nice and shiny, like it's polished. And then painted the base rim Abaddon black and called it a day. So yeah, I hope you all enjoyed that paint job. I will see you guys tomorrow for day 28. Thank you for watching.